morning, viewers, and welcome to Inside Nigeria. It's actually the breakfast show where we dissect and discuss front leading stories on some select newspapers. My name is Winifred Ubebo, and with me in the studio, as you can see, is a political scientist and a public affairs analyst, Olamilekon and Nikolari. It's always a pleasure to have you on the program.
Thanks for having me, and a
Your,
very good morning to our viewers.
your incisive way of dissecting news is really impressive. Well, viewers, without wasting much time, we have papers, as you can see, spread out on our table for review this morning. And we are starting with Nigeria's most influential newspaper, Leadership. Leadership is leading with the story Naira Swap. Bank chiefs challenge CBN on quantity of new notes. Naira Swap. Bank chiefs challenge CBN on quantity of new notes as Nigerians lament cash crunch. NRC blames corruption, systemic failure for scarcity. Review measures to ease hardship, Atiku tells Emefiele. I'll take the leading story once again. Naira swap. Bank chiefs challenge CBN on quantity of new notes as Nigerians lament cash crunch. NLC blames corruption, systemic failure for scarcity. Review measures to ease hardship, Atiku tells Emefiele. Still on new naira scarcity. The Punch is also leading with similar story. It says new naira scarcity. Sokoto, Zamfara, Katsina, border residents trade in CFA. New naira scarcity. Sokoto, Zamfara, Katsina, border residents trade in CFA. Customers without new naira notes must pay in CFA. Traders insist. Banking halls empty. NCCI says naira swap poor, affecting businesses. ICPC arrests currency hawker. Angry youths protest in Ekiti. Fantastic. Wow, wow. Adepolin, what is happening? Everywhere is agog. And there was something that I saw this one. He said Nigerians, they can make fun of every situation
Exactly.
they find themselves. There was this, he said, I'm going to queue in a bank so that I can go and queue for fuel in order to go and queue for my PVC.
That's very hilarious from the person. Anyway,
Yes.
is hilarious in the sense that this is the
Yes.
reality of what we are facing today. And
The key word there is queue.
Q,
Mhm.
and it's quite something that is very, really.
Actually, on my way to the office, I drove past some banks and still the same story. The banks I drove past, I wouldn't want to call it. Don't even have, they were not even loading. So
Mm.
I saw a lot of people outside the central charge and the ATM was not even dispensing anything.
I just hope the bank that you saw coming on the way to work they
Mm.
don't load later, because at the end of the day, I normally told that in the early morning hours, if they have not received such cash from the headquarters, it really takes time like that. But those who have received last night are the ones that you see that their ATM is dispensing. But away from that, the reality that we have found ourselves is that we queue for police station,
Yes.
we queue at the bank ATM, we also queue to also collect our PVC. Even though INEC is saying that in a particular state, is it Ekiti or those states, that over 800,000 PVC have not been collected as of yesterday.
How many?
800,000 PVC have not been collected. But the issue boils down to the economic reality of our redesigning of the naira. Even though on a good faith level, the
But that
policy.
PVC, we also have reports. We see some videos of people of Nigerians complain that they cannot have access to PVC even after spending long hours on queue.
They are just have to be patient, because many people have passed through that.
And why some people said I've seen some reports that they actually pay too. They ask them to
You are very, very correct.
If you
People
want
are
your
also
PVC.
extorting
Is
Nigerians.
INEC aware of this?
They
It's
will.
not just enough to say, oh, people are not coming to collect their PVC. What about those that are queuing up to actually collect their PVC? They are not getting it. That's the report we are getting from the field.
The only thing is that from that angle of a queue, waiting, you just have to wait until you get your PVC. If actually you want to vote in this coming election. But the other aspect is the economic reality of the designing of the naira, which is quite, it was on a good faith that we want to have this kind of policy to help us to also meet with the global standard of online banking and the rest of it.
Yeah.
But it has turned the other way around, in the sense that if you look critically on this particular policy, any policy that doesn't go down well with the elite, they only turn it around. From my own angle, I said that this policy would have also served the interest of every Nigerian. But as it stands today, because it's not going to serve the interest of certain individuals, they just want to thwart it and make it look as if the policy is bad from the beginning. Now, to the banks that we are having issue with, and CBN have come out, and from this story I read in leadership, that the bank chiefs are challenging CBN that, okay, if you say you have given all this quantity of money, how come we are having scarcity? It is now left for the CBN to do what they have been doing when it comes to forex. Each forex that CBN released to bank, they publish it on a sister station yesterday. Our advising CBN should start publishing all the banks, how much they are giving to each of them. The unit of 1,000. That is the way to go. And I also suggested that there should be a 6 hours briefing. Have the press with you in your headquarters there, and we give them 6 hours briefing on what is happening, and be having a report from the field. Like now, CBN is doing swap in all the interior parts. Can we have a field report on what is happening? Because people are saying that okay, there's even working at that point. What about those of us in the city? Can CBN also organize swap for us in some sensitive area that we can go and organize ourselves and collect? I think that should be what CBN should be doing at this point in time.
So what is the way forward? Because we saw that the civil society organizations actually led the protest. I really cannot tell where the protest took place, but I saw some video clips they had the protest, and today it's still the same biting story.
No, the protest was yesterday, and maybe it will continue today. Why most newspapers didn't carry that protest was like it wasn't carried out by one of the more strong exactly, and it wasn't done in a way that where invited. That's what really happened. How the press was invited, the NSC was involved, TUC was involved, and big civil society organizations were also involved. I think the press would have been carried along.
We also saw some video clips of some Nigerians actually on their one woman actually took off her tops and really had tight and
that was very
the banking hall. She needed money to pay her trades.
And not only that, even elderly people are also protesting in the bank. They didn't even go and queue at the ATM. They went straight into the bank queue and we are protesting that they should be giving their money. And I hope the bank really responded. Although with this, I didn't watch full video exercise. I didn't watch the full length, but I think they were protesting that they should be giving the money. The reality is that a concrete or proactive or pragmatic solution has to be brought in this perspective. I was just thinking, I said, what is happening to the 10 naira? What is happening to the 20 naira? What is happening to the 50? We still have them. Why can't the CBN release this one into the banks so that people who want 1,000 can go to the ATM and collect it? At the counter, you can collect the 50 naira and the 100 naira note. This will also reduce the hardship. It will reduce the hardship, but as it stands today, everybody is just looking at the new note. What about the one that was not removed? The 50, the 10, the 20, and the 100.
I remember me, in fact, in my haste to beat the deadline before it was extended anyway, I just all the 100 naira, 50 naira, I went searching my house to see if I could lay my hands on, and I forgot that they were not part of it. It was when I already given that to my colleague now said, no, but
you can see the pictures of them.
That was in my haste to beat it. No, Adefolari, what is the way forward? Because these things cannot actually continue like this. Even the extension, we have seen the mad rush by Nigerians, and actually it's not abating by the day. So what is the solution?
I think the solution, I've mentioned one of them. The 10 naira, the 20, the 50, and the 100. CBN, bring it out. Let the bank have enough of this one. It will help.
That is not affected.
Because what I'm thinking is that
that's why the 100 naira
especially the 100 naira, and those ones they have been printed a long time. Most of them are in the CBN, but bring them out. Now, the new naira note, there could be a problem with the printing of them because it's being printed locally. Because of the rush and the demand for it, the Nigerian Printing and Minting Company may not be able to meet all or satisfy the printing volume that we need at this point in time. Now, put aside that one, let the printing continue, then bring these other ones out for us. The 10, the 20, the 50, and the 100. If you go to the banking hall and you need 100,000, let them package 100 naira and give to you. It is not left for you, you're going to carry it to your house. 50 are the same thing, 20 the same, and it will go a long way.
Yeah, of course, there was also because that yes, Nigerians were also being paid with 5
naira also is there. I didn't even mention it's still there. We can still make use of it. You made mention that you are looking for the 100 naira. Since the beginning of this policy, I've been keeping one of the 100 naira than the 500 because I know that at a point in time this thing will happen. So it was more or less 20 naira, 50 naira on even with
Oh,
50.
so you are not taking on our way.
I was not. I will just be keeping the 50. I will calculate my distance where I'm going, and I will gather the 50 naira, and I keep them. Even you that will be asking me for new money, I'll say I have the 50 naira, and I give it to you, and it has been working for me. Now for the CBN, bring out those unit of those ones, and let us have it. Then secondly, as I said earlier, we know there will be challenge of printing the volume that is required. Can CBN also make sure that this volume that is required can go into essence whereby we can have a little of the 100 naira more in circulation?
Circulation
It will go a long way.
All right, still on this scarcity of naira swap, is what led to a development story
Exactly.
since yesterday. Of course, the APC presidential candidate Bola Ahmed Tinubu raised the alarm that this lingering fear scarcity and naira design was targeted at him. Of course, the ruling party is making naira. The Kaduna State Governor, Malam Nasir El-Rufai, did come up on air yesterday during an interview with Julius Emeka to say that actually that there is a case that they know that there are some elements in Asubina that they would want to support Tinubu for this election. Let's take it. Some papers have a leading story for their cover. Let's have Vanguard newspaper. Vanguard newspaper. El-Rufai cries. Elements in Aso Villa want APC to lose elections. El-Rufai cries. Elements in Aso Villa want APC to lose elections. Says APC didn't promise to retain petrol subsidy. Redesign Naira. First those blaming CBN Governor Emefiele for the Naira redesign. First those blaming CBN Governor Emefiele for Naira redesign. We are not aware of anyone working against APC, federal government replies El-Rufai. Insists Buhari has no favored presidential candidate. Says Nigeria not tackling corruption to impress Transparency International. Then the Guardian also has similar story. The Guardian says Buhari for free poll, not against any candidate. Federal government replies El-Rufai. Buhari for free poll, not against any candidate. Federal government replies El-Rufai. El-Rufai, people in Aso Rock working against Tinubu. Aisha Buhari shares El-Rufai video, validates claim. APC national chairman and national working committee mom. Tinubu remains unstoppable in spite of Villa conspiracy, says Alake. Act swiftly on El-Rufai's comments. KK Meke tax Adamu. I'll take the leading story once again. It says Buhari for people, not against any candidate, as he replied, federal government replies El-Rufai. El-Rufai, people in Aso Rock working against Tinubu. Aisha Buhari shares El-Rufai video, validates claim. APC national chairman, NWC mom. Tinubu's remains unstoppable in spite of Villa conspiracy, says Alake. Act swiftly on El-Rufai's comment. KK Meke tax Adamu. Of course, it's also the same story with the nation. The nation, El-Rufai, elements in Kaduna governor, Naira redesign e-timed, retaining subsidy payment shocking. Villa not aware, says federal government. APC PCC, Buhari backing Tinubu. And of course, we have the quote. The Naira redesign and fuel scarcity are the handwork of fifth columnists who want to bring the country down. That is a quote from El-Rufai, the Kaduna State governor. This is a story that has been making the rounds yesterday. Actually, some people, when I saw the story and I shared it, they debunked it that no, it can't be El-Rufai. You understand that? It's like what the Holy Book said that you have divided against yourself. What do you have to say?
The thing is that it's a loaded interview yesterday on one of the sister channels that El-Rufai have to expose and confirm some of the things that it was last week we discussed what Tinubu said in the rally in Abuja.
Yes.
So it was the confirmation of what he was saying, that certain fifth columnists in a villa in the presidency per se, they are working against them not to win, and that's why you can see all this policy. And there's something that I said, even though the policy was meant to be a good idea, but some way, somehow, it become a bad thing when it gets to
Yeah. In
implementation.
fact, let me take Vanguard's own again. Vanguard says El-Rufai cries. Elements in Aso Villa want APC to lose elections. Let's see Vanguard again because it's so striking that actually the ruling party will
Mhm.
want to also lose his hold, lose his grip
Grips
on
on
power
power.
because of one person.
But the thing is that
El-Rufai cries. Elements in Aso Villa want APC to lose election.
but the question that comes to my mind when I saw this headline yesterday was that how will a political party want to lose power when they are already in
power.
it? Is it that a certain element, because the way everybody is putting it, he was putting it as if it was a certain group of that party, not the entire APC party. And Anakukiri interrogated that statement, a certain group of that party. Remember, the APC is consuming of PDP, ABGA, CPC, ACN, or what, and there are many. AD, and you can see there are so much element,
APP or ANPP.
a lot of them, and there's element of people who are core PDP members then that were enjoying appointment in this current administration.
Yes.
So could they be those set of people that are trying to work it in a way that their party can return back to power by using them as instrument to cause chaos in the party, to destabilize the party? What is happening? And someone like El-Rufai, who have been able to identify those set of people, is now coming out to say, this is what we are seeing. We are seeing the hands of these people in what is happening in Nigeria. Another thing is that it is political. It's also a political season that we are. People need to throw so many jibes into the system. I told someone yesterday, I say it could be a sympathetic statement because as it stands today, many people doesn't want to associate with APC government because of this policy they are putting in place. And we also brought it and say, okay, even though this policy is out there, it is meant for good, but individuals among us are trying to make it a bad policy. And that's what everybody is saying. But from all in summary, it is just to have a sympathy, emotional drive from people who may be thinking that the Buhari government has failed. So if people like everybody can say, not that Buhari has failed, but people made him to fail. Now they are not shifting the blame from Buhari, now putting on people who are, other people that are around him and the rest of it. And that's why even his wife, also there was a news that his wife also posted the El-Rufai statement on her Twitter handle. And what does that suggest? And she has been saying that the Villa Cabal have been existing.
Even that first tenure when she said that those that work for the husband were sidelined,
exactly.
While those that did not do anything were made to come and feast.
It's true.
Now, for instance, when Tinubu made that declaration in Abeokuta, some people said that Abeokuta has become
his platform to always express
remember that was where Emilocom
came out. Now he's also expressing we will trek and go and vote no matter what.
Many people are, of course, be of the opinion that is why is he just saying it now that the presidential candidate has never ever spoken in favor of the masses, if not that now that he's involved. You think his statement is it kind of
what I said earlier is what I was saying. Sympathy. It's a statement that want to draw sympathy from Nigeria because APC presidential candidate and some APC element of people understand that what is driving the Labour Party movement is sympathy. It's sympathy because they have discovered that this guy went to PDP, he didn't lose. Now his region, his tribe, supposed to also be part and parcel, supposed to have become produce the president. So it's more like sympathy is like driving the followership. So they now understood that psychological aspect of Nigerian people that let us also begin to throw sympathetic statement out there, whether it can attract people to us.
But this time around, don't you think that like I use the word E-time and E-time in the sense that is this party, like the ruling party, they are the party in power. Could they have come to the market square to make that sort of declaration?
These are politicians. They care less. What they are interested for now is the vote, and anything that will make them to get the vote, they will do it. We cannot do the same thing to this party, disgracing them, embarrassing them. He just disapproved the stadium that is approved
we are
for
coming
them.
to that when we see another. We have a paper that is living.
Exactly. So what politicians don't care. What they want is how to get that sympathetic view of Nigerians, and they have understood the psyche of every voter in Nigeria. If you know how to drive their emotion by being sympathetic, by throwing things that will attract them, they will come to you. And if they are saying that, okay, now this fuel scarcity, fifth element, who are the fifth element? They didn't mention, although they didn't go critical on them, but Tinubu went critical and pointing accusing figure to the NMPC GMP.
And he didn't even stop there. A few days ago, he was in Akwa Ibom, and he also made
some statement about
that,
turning the agricultural land into a fruitful land.
Apart from that, a dollar, they meant his party made dollar at 200, and now dollar is 800. And people are wondering what is happening actually.
Although he was not too critical about that statement, but just being pinpointing in the way that people can quickly dance to what he's saying. But the key thing
is his party that is in power. His party actually came and made dollar at that amount.
They met it.
Is 800 now. But I was trying to suggest to somebody that no, I don't think it could have been directed at the government. Maybe it's CBN government supposed to be in charge of
exactly. Apart from the CBN government, we know that right from the time when second-tier forex trading was introduced into Nigeria, a certain group of elements of Nigeria take that sector and hold it to their chest. That you can't go there and take it away. So to Tinubu now, to someone like Tinubu, will you be able to fight those elements? Even the CBN governor tried. Even when they create an official window, we can be doing what they call it, trade in forex in a way that government can recognize the BDC. They still went and turned everything upside down. So if Tinubu is saying we met 200 naira, now it's not 800 naira, it's pointing out to some people. But what left for the government to do against that element in our society that turned that in? That means they have been overstretched and they don't know what to do. So for him, maybe he has an answer to that when he becomes president.
If we are still on this story because it's a developing story.
Exactly.
If Tinubu raised their land that the fuel scarcity and the Naira redesign, they are all targeted at him. But he's out of line because the the ruling party. And they have the opportunity to at least tell me. You have a situation whereby fuel scarcity has lingered for too long, for a year now.
Since beginning of
last year, 2022, up to now, Nigeria. So he felt that if they had wanted to support him at least, it's just like an olive, a carrot that you offer to the masses. Oh, at this time, fuel is supposed not to be in scarcity or in lack.
It can be something that people now use and say, okay, APC have tried.
Yeah, it's something that has lingered. So, do you think that he was out of line?
It wasn't, and it was also.
And at the same time, truly that there's an element, just what everybody is saying, that also are not supporting that they want APC to lose election.
Definitely, if you know what is happening in Nigerian politics, as it stands today, from my own observation, anybody that comes in, you will see a flock of opposition, non-opposition joining that party and begin to tell them congratulations. That is the level that
the party in power would actually, some elements in power who actually want to go and join the opposition when they have the advantage already.
Because the advantage is this: they have been able to understand that if we can cross carpet, if we lose, we can change direction and join them. You didn't see what happened between 2015 and now? That many people in PDP, they just left PDP and they even became contractor with APC and collect. That's what they are looking for. So they don't care whoever comes. What happens is if anybody that is there and I show my loyalty to that person, I will get my survivor. And that's what politicians are thinking in Nigeria now.
Well, viewers, we are going on a break. We'll come back. We have other papers to review and discuss. Don't go away.
inside Nigeria, keeping you informed on what matters.
Okay, welcome back. This is Inside Nigeria on Leadership Television. My name is Winifred Okoye, host of the program. With me in the studio has been a political analyst and also a political scientist, Olamide Okoye.
Thanks for having me.
Yes, we have a paper for review, and that is Daily Independent. Daily Independent has a different story altogether on its cover. Let's have Daily Independent. Daily Independent says, our restructured Nigeria give Niger Delta more resources. Article. Our restructured Nigeria give Niger Delta more resources. That's the story from Article. Meanwhile, okay, it's not here. We also had a report that the Rivers State government,
That's a very serious one from after promising and making it even public that is going to allow them to make use of that facility. And it's just power. But at the time,
yes,
it just turn against them. Right? It's a good omen on his side. We just hope that it won't be a backlash on him if eventually PDP win at the federal level. And again, articles promising restructuring Nigeria and giving more resources to Nigeria. It's a familiar timing that all of us understand. That this
yes,
particular statement has been one of the things that we're pushing for when it begins to campaign for the presidency. So the issue still remains that with the power that be allow such restructuring to take place. Because it has been a campaign, even in 2014 confab, that people want restructuring.
and of course, even APC campaigned with it. That
They even went ahead and do so many white paper, blue paper on
they
it.
never said anything like that.
So I don't know maybe what he has as a strategy or what he has as a magic to ensure that this happens. So if he is promising such to the Niger Delta or to the southern Nigeria, he should know that they will hold him at the jugular for it eventually if he becomes president, because that is the first thing they will ask him to do. To send a bill to National Assembly.
Nigeria give more resources to Niger Delta. Niger Delta already has these, although not Niger Delta alone, because we saw see that most more oil producing states
now having their 10% derivation. Although
and Niger Delta also has the Niger Delta
Development Commission,
yes, and also Ministry of Niger
Niger
Delta.
Delta. And they
Is
also
that
have,
what is needed at this time?
No,
Give more resources.
if we're talking about giving them more resources, restructuring settle everything. That's all. Political restructuring or economic interest restructuring. Because what Nigerians are even looking for, especially from that angle, is economic restructuring interest. In the sense that let all the resources be controlled and managed by us, not giving them agencies or giving them percentage. They are not interested in percentage or agent. What they are interested in, when this oil is found in Okuni, let Okuni be managed or manage their resources. Simply, if a bitumen is found in Nasarawa, let Nasarawa state manage it. That's what they are calling for. And in promising them this kind of thing now, we just hope he'll be able to fulfill it. Because if they can't do it, it's going to be a challenge to him. Even if they may even call for so many protests against him, he will not be able to do it.
Now, why APC is also having the in-house issues, challenges, PDP own is best worse like it did. Because right from the primaries, when we thought it was well settled, and that was when the issue came up, and up till now, there seems no end in sight for this crisis. And it's just a few weeks to election. I did see it because for Wike to have at the 9-minute withdraw approval for articles campaign rally, that speaks volumes.
I think it is what we don't expect such things to happen between Wike and PDP after approving the stadium for them. We now go ahead and cancel it. But I also see that some of the intrigues that PDP himself is playing against the 5G government. Over the weeks they have been making so many statements against them, especially on Makinde, against Abia State. They just lost a governorship candidate now. And there's a threat that the current governor who is going for a senatorial cannot nominate anybody, cannot even have a say who the party is going to pick now, because it is the party chairman, the senator, the PDP chairman that is going to submit the name of the candidate. So now, as it stands now, the governor he doesn't have anything to do. Even if he's going to bring any candidate out, that candidate may not emerge as the PDP if you nominate anybody, the chairman of the party may kick against it and go and nominate somebody else. So that alone is making the G5
That is a
governors
dicey situation.
exactly it's making the G5 governors to rethink their modus operandi against the PDP Atiku leg. And that's why they could quickly come out, Wike will come out with this kind of strategy and say they are not giving them the freedom to use again. And again, a particular senatorial candidate of PDP went to campaign in Okobo land recently over the weekend, and a certain group of PDP thugs attacked them. They were even shooting because I watched the video. They were shooting and they attacked them. This could also be one of the intrigues that they are throwing up, that the wicked governor will now say, okay, if this is happening, we now allow them to use our stadium. What will happen at the end of the day? There could be even a clash. So they should go and find somewhere else to go and use. But we don't think that is good enough for the policy. We would have allowed them to use it and monitored what is happening around them. But I just hope it's going to refund their money to them, because they paid for it. It should refund their money to them. They're not going to allow it to use it.
But these G5 governors, are they taking beyond the election? What happens if the election and the Atiku wins?
This is what they will do. If Atiku wins, what will happen is that they may go back into their. Some of them will leave the country immediately. That's certain. They will leave, except the ones that they win their own election and they're in government. But the ones that are not contesting anything, some of them will leave the country immediately. Maybe after 1 or 2 years of speaking from the diaspora and be trying to commend the government or counter the government, or because that's what will happen. You can see what is happening to one of the APC strong person, Timmy Frank. Since he was out of favor in APC, he went abroad. Out of favor in abroad, he joined PDP, began to castigate the government up to today. So they may also be doing that, or they may come back and realize that home is better. They come back home and say, okay, we are going back to our party, and we have regretted what we have done, and it's the politics, and that's what it is. And they will come back and join their political party. But for me, what I see is that politicians have a way of fighting publicly, but when it comes to night hour, they merge their relationship and they continue to talk. I don't think all the properties, individual properties of all these people that Wike is fighting against, their properties have been taken away from them. They are still there in the River State, and they can't do more than that. So political parties will always express, or politicians will always express all this sad narrative around themselves in the public. But when it comes to the closet, they shake hands and take the wine or take the drink they want to take together. And when they travel abroad, you don't see all these things happening. It wasn't even not the same Wike that made way that allowed this other national chairman of PDP to be left, to be thrown out the party. Secondus. But the same Secondus enjoyed 41 billion contracts from the same Wike. And what did Wike say? He said he will squander more than half of the money. That's what say, even when they were quarreling, he was still giving him contracts. Yes, that's what it means. So politicians will always find a way to get that thing done. A lot of them does that. If you go to council, local government council, former chairman, former councillor are still collecting contracts from the current, and they may not be in the same political party. And some of them are even giving bids or collecting all these fees they collect from market as part of means of surviving. And that's how politicians normally see themselves when it comes to that level. But to us, they'll make us look as if, okay, we are fighting. But inside their closet, they are friends. If you go this state now, there's this politically wrangling that's happening between Faleke and Governor Abelo. That is not in the open now, because Faleke will come by December to come and contest for governorship. You can see that all the campaign that Tinubu is going all across the country, the Abelo is not there. Faleke is there.
And initially there was a report that broke that he was not supporting him because of Faleke. At the end of the next day, he repeated it and said that no, that was a fake news.
It was a fake news, but has he appeared in any of the campaign ground of
he's actually the director of
youth mobilization. Is he doing it?
I think he had a program in Abuja, of course it was nowhere.
Someone was saying that they have gone on medical vacation. That's why it's not appearing there. I was like, medical vacation? That is politics. Because it will all play around, because it is all about interest. Their own personal interest, how to safeguard it and how to ensure that nobody thwarts it. And that's what is happening. And that's what is happening between Wike and Atiku. But I can bet you, if Atiku becomes Nigerian president come February 5th, Wike will travel out of the country. When he comes back.
Did you see the video of the whistleblower who said that Atiku is going to deal with Wike?
Definitely. That one is sure.
Exactly what I told somebody. Say, why? I said, if it were a uniform. If it's.
But he will not do it to the detriment of the government. If he becomes president, he will not do it to the detriment of the government, because outside Rivers State or inside and outside Rivers State, UKC have a huge followers that will support him. And he's not even sure whether.
But with this, I'm still talking about the cracks within the party. You know, are they not going to lose ground?
Definitely they will lose ground because already.
So why do you think that they were Atiku they are so insistent on not conceding to the G5, considering the fact the enormous vote? If you can also look back, you discover that the mainstay of PDP over the years has been South.
Exactly. Or what will happen is that a percentage of that vote will now be shared between APC, PDP, and Labour Party. That bulk vote they normally enjoy before, they can't get it. Even at the governorship,
okay, I think APC will still have shares.
they will see
Because it has always been given to
PDP, but as it stands now, it is between the three of them. But people the person who are going to have a lion's share will still remain in PDP, but not like before. Not like when they can get their 700,000 or 1 million or 1.2 million, like a Rivers State, like 1.2. No, they can't get. Exactly, they can't get such vote again. But definitely they will still get something to their record, but not as before. Especially as the governor have said that we will decide who to vote for when it comes to presidency. But any other level, it is PDP. And it is wisdom on the side.
It's even more, I don't know how to put it, but the fact that Wiki up to now has refused to name the candidate he's supporting.
Definitely, he will not name it.
Cat and moose game,
Exactly.
or man's game with
Nigeria. He will not do that. You know why he will not do that? He will not do that at this point in time because it will be detriment to the governorship candidate of his party.
And his candidates.
His governorship candidate is his own person. The senatorial candidates are his person. The House of Reps, the state, all of them are his people. So he has planted his voice. That's why I said, even if Atiku becomes president, he will not do anything that will be detrimental to Rivers State because he is fighting Wiki as an individual. He won't do that. They may lose out in ministerial position. In all the juicy appointment at federal level, they will lose out. But not to go and tamper with the state revenue or what the state will earn in terms of federal allocation share. He won't go to that level. It is when they go to that level that people will definitely want to amend. And even if it is APC, they will not even go to that level. You can see what APC did for them. All the money that is meant for Rivers State, they give it to them at this point in time.
Yeah, thank you so much for that. Unfortunately, we've come to the end of today's program, and most of the stories papers we review today have similar stories on their cover. Until we come your way again, I look forward to seeing you next week. Thursday, yes. So don't forget, tomorrow is another day. I remain Winifred Football. See you tomorrow. Bye.
Thank you for watching. For sponsorship and advert placements, please contact 080-3688-6158. Last Word Leadership Podcast Studio. You have the last word.